Hey, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Lindsey, and this is Garbage and Gold,
the podcast where we deliberate the best and the worst about all the things.
Deliberation that is often loaded with things like snark, laughs, and even sometimes agreement.
We are legit friends who've been sharing our opinions with each other for over 10 years. So, things might get a little spicy every now and again, but we're still friends at the end of the show. I promise.
We are definitely still friends. And we want to know your opinions, too. More about how you can do that at the end of the show. So, you guys, it is time. We hope you are ready. Get cozy. Settle in. Don't get cozy if you're driving. But get cozy. Settle in for some deliberation.
All right, Lindsey. So, let us hear a recap of our road trips episode and the votes.
In the showdown between my garbage, which was bad driving conditions, and your garbage, gas station bathrooms.
Yep.
I did win.
Dang it!
I did win. That's right.
Over gas station bathrooms?
Yes.
Gross. You guys. Gross.
Maybe you have been to the wrong gas stations. And
obviously I have. Congratulations to everybody else that seems to find bathrooms that are clean on the highway. I don't.
Right, because someone even commented, a road trip, it needs to be sunny and 72 degrees. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So then in the showdown between my gold, which was the adventure of discovery.
That is so darn eloquent. Dang it.
Thank you. And your gold, car karaoke.
Yeah.
You do win.
Oh, thank God. I was so worried.
Lisa, let it be known, Lisa sent me a message earlier this week being like, you are winning the votes. Very worried. Okay.
Well, yeah, because I was mainly on the socials this week, and I knew that you weren't really keeping up with it, and I was just like, Lindsey, it's really going heavy in your direction.
That's right, people. I knew you'd come around.
Especially for gold, because you said you were scrambling, and you wanted the gold that I had chosen. So the gold you chose did really well. So
really, your gold winning is also a win for me, because that was my gold.
We can share that.
We'll share the win. So that is Road Trip Showdown.
Fantastic. Okay. A clarification from friend of the show, Colby. She informed me that you cannot get an airborne STI, but I'm still wary of that, though.
I do believe a certain co-host of yours also informed you couldn't get STIs from the air, but, please, don't listen to me. What do I know? I don't know anything.
Well,
apparently.
Still, we're all worried about it. All right. Do you have any listener comments this week?
I do have a couple. So our official illustrator, Cole, on Twitter did say that he is inviting himself along on our Red Rocks road trip. And
yes,
he will bring the donuts and the pickled green beans. And so therefore, Cole, you're in. But you have to sit in the back seat because I call frontsies.
Yeah, I'll be.
Call shotgun for sure.
Yeah.
And then AB Nink on Instagram said that getting to know someone on a road trip is a real thing because she started dating her husband after doing 2 long road trips with him because they were volunteering with a group. And so if you want to find love, get in a car with them and drive far away and you'll find love. It's guaranteed.
That sounds even more terrifying than me being like, I'll go on a road trip with anybody who's going to sing Bonnie Tyler with me. Let's go. It's even more terrifying to be like, I'm going to find the love of my life on a road trip. Come on. You got some time? Let's go.
Get in the car. Let's see where this goes. Literally and figuratively. Emotionally and distance.
I love it.
Lisa, do you have any favorite listener comments?
I do. So on Instagram, our swag winner of last week, @ProbablyMaggie, and she also is a host of the podcast We Are the Worst, which is the best podcast name maybe ever, honestly.
Absolutely.
She gave me a prime quote for my Twitter header, and I did get permission to post it. So she sent it to me when we were going back and forth getting her address to send the swag. But she said, Lisa, I know I've called you a monster before, but you were actually a gemstone. And I was like, this is the best thing anybody's ever said to me.
Yeah, but notice only after she won a prize from you does she call you a gemstone.
It's true. I'll take it. I'll still take it. I was called a gemstone this week. And then on Twitter, 2 different user comments I want to shout out. at Dane_T did confirm that Total Eclipse of the Heart is the ultimate car bop. So thank you, Dane, for that. I appreciate it. And at Jason Areola on Twitter reminded me that Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind is necessary for a road trip playlist, because that song, I mean, it's great for the car. It is so good. There's some good screaming in there. It's good stuff.
Trying to narrow down to 15 was really hard for me.
So
and like
hard.
I was listening back to my playlist today being like, I think I might have been on drugs. I'm not on drugs. But like it was hard, and so I ended up picking like weird things. But I will tell you, dear 16-year-old Lindsey, someday it will be okay for you to pull up to a high school parking lot singing It's All Coming Back to Me by Celine Dion, the Queen, at the top of your lungs in your car, and you won't even care anymore. And so that is my version of Total Eclipse of the Heart is It's All Coming Back to Me.
Celine's got some power ballads in her repertoire, that's for sure.
She sure does. Ugh,
yes.
So good.
All right. So now it is time for us to choose a winner from our subscribers. And this is the last week that we're doing it. Yes.
So I can't even tell you there's still time for you to sign up.
Time is up, you guys. Time is up. This is it. So we are choosing between 1 and 12. These are people who have sent us proof that they have rated, reviewed, and subscribed to the podcast. So 1 through 12, it's number 1. And number 1 is Jen at Two Moms Read. Yay! Oh,
congratulations, Jen.
Yeah, girl. We'll get you that swag. And, oh, God, you're going to be so excited. All right. Thanks for entering, everybody else. And on to the show. All right, this week we are deliberating the garbage and gold of starting a new job. Yes. So before we launch into my research here, how many jobs would you say that you've had in your life, Lindsey? Like, how many times have you had to do a new job thing before?
Actually, a lot. Like 13.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. That was a lot.
Yeah. Because how long have you been at your current job?
6 years.
I have started, what did I count? 7 jobs in your 6 years. No, I feel like I should put a disclaimer.
But they stack.
They stack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like I just can't keep a job. Like I have like regular jobs, and then I get like side jobs. And
yeah,
so,
you have a lot of side hustles that are like legit though.
Yeah. So
they're real jobs.
But yeah, like in the time that you've been at your job, I've started 7.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, that's a lot.
That sounds terrible to me. You're very ambitious, and I like that about you. I am the opposite of that.
That is not even true, but thank you.
So in my research for looking up things about starting a new job, I found some top tips for starting a new job, and I want you to tell me kind of what you think about these, since apparently you are the resident expert in starting a new job. This is from thebalancecareers.com is where I got this information. So, number 1, associate with positive people and avoid complainers and slackers at all costs.
I would agree, yes.
So I feel like that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
That, like, just as a life rule, I think. Number 2, seek input and assistance when you are stumped, but try to avoid coming across as needy by asking numerous questions. Try to solve as many problems as possible on your own or with input from colleagues at your own level.
I don't know how I feel about that, because I think depending on what you do, there are just things where you need to know the way that your job does it. So even if you're like, I know how to do this, I've done this before, they might do it differently than you. So like, prove your competency. But also, like, there's a way to ask a question of, this is how I would do this. Does this fit in with how we do things here?
Nice.
Then you don't, because then you end up making mistakes later on, and then you're like, oh, well, I didn't think to ask that.
Yes.
So
yeah, totally.
So be independent, but make sure you're in the right framework.
Number 3, participate in office activities. You can already guess how this is going to make me feel. Do your best to ingratiate yourself into the organization's social happenings so you can get to know your colleagues on a personal level.
I will tell you that, especially in like an office kind of environment, there are many places where it is not about competency, it's about how well you fit in. And so it's really important that you try to fit in with your coworkers. Apparently that's not important at your job. The face you're making me, at me right now makes me think.
I'm thinking about my organization's social happenings, and that phrase makes me want to not leave my house. So I worked at a different job for several years before my current one, and that was for a big corporation. And so that's what I'm thinking of. I'm not thinking about my current job and that office. That office is fine. I can do social happenings with them, and that's not a big deal. I'm thinking about my other one where there were like hundreds of employees, and it's just like thinking about that makes me want to vomit a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Nope. Okay. Number 4. Review your social media accounts and make sure any personal information visible to the public reflects a professional image.
Back up. You need to do that before you apply for jobs. Boom.
Right.
Don't do it now.
You really do. Yeah, it's too late now. Yeah. Right.
They've already looked at them. If you've started the job, they've already looked at it.
It shocks me how many people just do not consider that your employer is going to look at your social media.
Yeah.
You really need to be aware of that.
It's true.
Last one. Take care of yourself. Starting a new job can be mentally and physically taxing. However, you don't want to burn yourself out in your early days. So be sure to take care of your health and spend some time doing activities that invigorate you, because you may feel like dedicating every waking hour to this new position. Doing so can quickly degrade your health and have a negative impact on your performance.
That's a good one. It's good advice. Yeah.
I think so too. All right. So these are things that will help us to have a positive new job experience. But we're going to start our discussion as we always do with garbage. So, Lindsey, what is your garbage about starting a new job?
I like new things, but the garbage of starting a new job is when you don't understand the office politics or culture. So, as we mentioned earlier, I have had many jobs, but really most of my jobs are office-based. And every office I've ever worked in has some level of like office politics or some sort of like culture thing. And I think that's just natural anytime a group of people get together. They create a system. It's like Lord of the Flies. Like you have to create a dynamic. And so even in places that are super healthy and you're like, oh, I can't wait to be a part of that, you still don't really understand it when you first come in to the new job. And sometimes you go to places where like that politics culture isn't great, and there are people that you don't know, and you don't know who is safe to go to ask for that help. So you know, earlier in the research it's saying, you know, like ask for help, ask for input. And there are times where I've had coworkers who are like, yeah, I'd love to help you, and then they turn around and like tell everyone how you don't know how to do your job and all this stuff.
Yes, like, the sabotage. Yes.
And so like not knowing who to trust, I really hate being duped. And so like I want to know who I can trust and who's my friend and who's the person I can go to and who's the person who's going to help me when I really have screwed up. Because part of having a new job is like you screw things up. So who's actually going to be there to help you clean it up?
Yeah. And to be supportive and help you grow from that and not just, oh yeah, you messed up. Like, yeah, I know that.
Right.
How can I do better next time? Right.
Yeah. So not knowing who those people are, especially in not great culture where you're like, I don't know who I trust. And sometimes you find out you are on your best behavior when you're applying for jobs and interviewing for jobs, but so are they. And so sometimes you start a job and you're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. And these people are not who I thought they were. And I don't know if this is a great fit for me. And then you end up like in your office with the door closed. The other thing that's hard for me with not knowing the office culture or politics is I always want to be part of the cool group. Like I always want to be part of the group that's having like the most fun and is the like people are like, they are so great to be around. And when you're new, especially in a big system, you don't necessarily know who the really cool, fun ones are going to be. You really don't. And so you don't want to get aligned with lame-o people who are not going to be fun.
It's true.
So it's just figuring that out. And once you figure it out and then you become part of it, for good or bad, then it's fine. And then it's just work and you know what to expect. But in the new job to just like walk in the door and be like, I don't know who's going to show up in the doorway of my office and complain to me for 3 hours about whatever they want to complain about. It's hard.
Yeah, that is a trigger. Yeah. I felt that one real hard when you said that. Yeah. Like when you start recognizing people and you're like, okay, this is going to be a disaster. Or you see people and you're like, oh, this is going to be fun. I enjoy interacting with this person.
Yeah.
Oh, but you don't know that at first. Oh,
No.
gosh. No, you're right. You can't just straight up ask either. So, like, what's the deal with her? Because they'll be like, she's great. What do you mean? And you're like, nothing. I didn't mean anything by that. I meant she's great.
I meant that she is wonderful. She is the best. I will give a shout out to my current place of employment. I did have one of my coworkers early on in HR, like I was like signing papers, and it's a very great office, but she was like, I just want you to know, if you ever need to swear, this is the office to come and swear about things in. And I was like, that is good to know. And so like 2 weeks later, I like went in the office and I closed the door. I was like, I need to swear now. Can I swear? And she was like, yep.
I would like to cash in on that offer, please. Thank you.
I wanted to test it out to make sure it was true. But, you know, if you have a new coworker starting, those might be the things that you say. Like, this is safe space. Swear or ask whatever question that you need to ask, because you could save a new person a lot of trouble if they think they can trust you. All right, so that is my garbage. Lisa, how about you? What is your garbage of new jobs?
Yeah, you like to start new things. I don't. So my garbage
13 jobs. 7 jobs in 6 years. Not a big deal.
Oh, girl.
Isn't that nuts? What's wrong with me?
Real bananas. Because I hate new things. So the first day of a new job as a whole is the absolute worst. The first day is my garbage, because there are so many unknowns to navigate. So you hit on one of those unknowns for sure, of just like that political social structure. I'm talking more of the tangible things when you first start a job, of like, what do I wear? So because you're trying to think of what level of professional you're going for. Like, you don't want to go too high and come off as snooty, like you're trying too hard, but you also can't go too low where the manager's gonna be like, Lisa, you can't wear that to the office. And I'll be like, why can't I wear my Star Wars shirt and leggings to the office? What you mean? There's a middle ground there, and you got to find it. Yeah. The next is, where do I sit for lunch? Okay, so like I said before, I used to work for a different corporation, and they had a lunchroom, and I swear to you, it is burned in my memory for the rest of time, because the facility was under construction at the time, so the lunchroom wasn't even in the right spot. So it was a small lunchroom. There were like 2 tables in there, and I was just like, it's way too close. I'm gonna have to talk to someone. I don't want to talk to anybody. It's like the high school cafeteria, but as an adult. So you feel like you should be over it, but you're not, and I hate it so much. Okay, so those things. And then also, you have to meet so many new people, and you remember none of their names. None of them.
That is real.
No names are going in your brain. Yep. And then they ask you vague personal questions, and it's just like a day-long blind date. So it's like, oh, what do you do for fun? And you're like, I watch Netflix. Is that not what everybody's answer is? Like, we just watch TV, people. Like, stop.
Oh my gosh. Next time we start new jobs, which for you will be never, and me will probably be, next week, we should make up things about ourselves. What do you do for fun? I'm really into gourmet French cuisine.
Oh my gosh.
And make up dumb stuff about ourselves, and then see how long it takes for everyone to be like, that's what she said? That doesn't seem like her at all. She told me she likes to go to breweries.
I was going to say, that's the key, is to tell everybody something different. Yeah. And then you become an unreliable weirdo.
That's perfect. Right. And then no one will talk to you, which is really your
what I want. That's what I want. Yeah, that's perfect. This actually ties into that, because one of the worst things that ever happened to me at my last job was they had me fill out a questionnaire so people could get to know me. So there's like a questionnaire of like, tell us about you. And there were prompts on it. And then they hung it in the break room for a month.
Okay, that sounds like my dream.
Oh my God,
you want to know more about me? Let me tell you all.
Oh my God. So it had things on there of like, your name, where you live, whatever. But then it's like your favorite movie. And then I was paralyzed because I can't put that my favorite movie is Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. Lindsay.
Wait, that one is your favorite?
Yes! Oh, okay. That's my truth, and I can't just put that out there. No one's going to talk to me. So I had to think of I had to think of something that was like in the realm of true without being like, this girl is weird. So I think I ended up putting Mean Girls, which is true. It is in my realm. Yeah, I mean, and I do really appreciate that movie, and it is one of my favorites, but
So if you're wondering, in the office politics and culture, who is the cool person to align yourself with, it ain't Lisa.
It's not me.
It's not
oh my
Lisa.
God, no. I've never said it's me. We all have a little social awkwardness in us. Mine is just real close to the top.
It
It's
is.
just right at the
It's
surface.
a good thing you're in a social club, though. So you can practice your social skills.
I get a report card every week of how I'm doing. Needed more eye contact. Well, that's not going to happen. So you can just forget that right now.
Lisa needs to think about what other people are interested in.
No, I'm only going to talk about what video game I'm playing, and you're going to listen to me.
Believe me. What do you think the pre-record is, folks?
Oh my gosh, I wish. I wish.
It's true.
All right.
You do a great job of keeping that under control.
I do. I really do. All right, so those were our garbage options. And before we get to gold, we need to take a quick sponsor break. Hey, Lindsay.
What is up, Lisa?
Remember our sponsor, Simply Sweet Cheesecake?
Do you mean the deliciously amazing cheesecake that has delicious flavors every day, like raspberry white chocolate, turtle, and exciting seasonal favorites like monster cookie? Yeah, I do.
Okay, that monster cookie one is so good, though. But don't forget, Simply Sweet Cheesecake also takes custom orders, caters special events, weddings, showers, corporate events, holiday parties, and everything in between. They also offer a sweet fundraising program as a way to give back to the community and surrounding areas.
I have already followed, liked, and shared Simply Sweet Cheesecake's Facebook page for the latest updates on all of this deliciousness, and I want our listeners to do that as well.
And if you or any of our wonderful listeners visits the shop after hearing our podcast, mention Garbage and Gold during your visit for 10% off your order.
I love a good deal, especially on something like a cheesecake.
All right, so again, that's Simply Sweet Cheesecake on Facebook or their website at simplysweetcheesecake.com and mention Garbage and Gold for 10% off your order.
Happy eating!
All right, Lindsay, we've hit the garbage. Now it is time for the gold of new jobs. What you got?
I feel like our golds will be so far apart. I feel like our garbages were close.
They
and
were.
I feel
They
like
were.
our golds are different planets. So, my gold for new jobs is new people. I'm so sorry. So, as it has been established, I am an extrovert. And so sometimes it is difficult for me to focus and even stay in my office because there are people around. And especially when you have coworkers that you have so much fun with, why would I then stay in my office by myself and do my job? Don't play this for my current boss. I do my current job. Like
You do 7 current jobs.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you're
But,
doing
like,
a lot of jobs.
Even this past week, I spent like a full 3-hour morning, bouncing from office to office, working on a project. I was like, this is my favorite kind of day. Like collaborating and talking and thinking, I loved every single
projects.
second of it.
Nope. Oh.
It was my favorite day of work of all last week. So some of my favorite people in my entire life are people who are my coworkers or former coworkers. Because let's be honest, if we work full time, we spend 40 hours plus a week with these people. And so you have to, on some level, find a way to get along with them. And
Exactly.
I have worked with some of the greatest people. I'm still in a group chat with 3 people who I no longer work with, and it sometimes is the only bright spot in my day because they are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a
shout
fun
out to
thing.
the group chat. It's so fun when you are first starting a new job because no one knows your stories, and so you get to be the fun witty one, and you're like, little do they know I've told this story 85 billion times, and they're like, cool, you're fun. One job I started, for my whole first week, every day a different coworker would come to me and be like, hey, do you have any lunch plans? And I learned to say no, and they'd be like, let's go to lunch. And so I went out to lunch every day for my whole first week. With a different person, yeah.
Oh.
And got to hang out. This is the same job though that my very first day, it was right around when What Does the Fox Say came out. Do you remember that YouTube video?
I do, yeah.
And so I was sitting in my office, and all of a sudden one of my coworkers starts blaring it, and pretty soon there are adults around me who are doing weird dances to What Does a Fox Say? And I looked at one of my other coworkers and I was like, how do you get anything done? And she goes, no, they're so excited that you're here. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. So then like you get to do like dance parties and silly stuff. And I'm always the person who's going to be like in the hallway.
Yeah.
If I'm in an office suite, I'm going to be doing something silly in the hallway. And I have many stories about doing silly things in the hallway just to like, you know, keep it fun for everyone around there. Yeah. So yeah, I do. I like the new people. I like learning more about the people. I like experiencing new coworkers.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Oh God, I'm trying to think of anything that I can compare that to, because once I have people in my life, I do those things, but there is a big hurdle to overcome for me to get from not knowing someone at all to knowing them. Yeah. So that takes a lot. And then I feel like I'm on that other side and I'm like, yeah, let's have a dance party. Yeah, let's do these things. And I want to know your stories. I want to know more about you. It's like getting from A to B is like a chasm for me.
Well, and I don't know that I hit silly like first week.
Well, no. Yeah. No. But the What Does the Fox Say dance party in your office, like that would make me want to shed my skin. Whereas you were like, oh, this is fun. Yeah. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. Because I like people and I like watching them and I like watching how they interact. And so it's hard when I don't understand how they interact, which is my garbage. But then like to actually get to know new people is so fun.
I will say the end result is wonderful.
Yes.
You appreciate the process. I just want to get to the end where like, I know you, you know me, we're friends. I can tell you this stuff, whatever.
Right.
I don't want to go through the A to B. I just want to be at the end already. Yeah. So that's where I
hopefully everyone who's listening who works has like a work BFF or a work wife or a work husband, who just someone who like makes your life better. And so every time you go into a new job, there is this moment of like, who is a new person in my life that is going to be like a great part of my 9-to-5 life. And I like it. And I get excited about who that person's going to be.
Yeah, because I think you're right. I'm thinking about one of my good friends, Jamie, is from my previous job. And she has a different job and I have a different job now. But we still talk like every day and we still share every day. She's a listener of the show. Like, I think you're right. Like, I would say that she was a work wife from my previous job that we stayed friends with. But it's just really hard to get through all that, like, oh, what do you like?
Well, and like, how long does that take you? Because I feel like 2 hours over tacos and I'm in.
I'm not going to say yes to lunch for like months.
What? Going to lunch is my favorite thing.
Well, I do too if I know you.
Oh.
I'm not. Yeah, I can't. Oh my God. The idea of going to lunch with someone I don't know very well makes me want to. I'm already thinking of like what I'm going to talk about for like 3 days in advance before lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is sad realization.
We are different people.
But if it's someone I know, like I love going out to lunch with people I know and I'm friends with. But that the breaking the seal on that. And you have to do it. I get that you have to do it. One of my good friends, Heather, invited herself over for wine one night and she ended up staying for like 2 bottles of wine and it was fantastic. And she was like, I just had to do this. And I was like, you did, because I wasn't going to. So you needed to do this. And it's great. And we're really good friends. But it took her being like, listen, we just need to do this. And then you break the seal and it's better, whatever. But I just...
No, the only thing about going to lunch with new coworkers is often that means riding in their car with them. And that I find awkward.
Yes.
But not lunch. Because I get food and there's someone across the table looking at me. And that is just one of my favorite things.
Yeah, the car ride, depending on how far it is, too. Yeah. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. I'd probably drive myself. I like to have that availability to just leave when I want to.
Nothing says, let's be friends. Will you be my work BFF? Like, but I'm not going to ride in your car with you.
That's correct. I'm going to drive myself. Yeah. Like, no, that's real. Or I'm just going to straight up drive because I want to control when we're done. I want to say, well, I think we're done here. Let's get going.
Okay, please tell me that's not how you end lunches with people you don't know very well. Well, I think we're done here.
I don't know if I've ever had to make a quick exit like that. And if I have, it's been like the SOS, like, well, I have another meeting or something like that I try to make it seem like I have a thing that I am going to. But yeah, I hate the idea of not being able to control my own exit, though. That's a thing. I love lunch. I love a lunch out, but I got to know you already. I don't want to get to know anybody. That's the part. I like having friends. I don't like making them. Yeah, that's our difference, I think.
Yep. Not in the Ven. All right, so that is my gold. New people. Lisa, what is your gold about new jobs?
You are correct in saying it was going to be very different from yours. My gold of starting a new job is getting to organize a new space.
Oh, no.
So,
I
have...
You've seen my desk. I sent you a snap like in the last week or two of my office.
Whenever I see a snap of you at your office, Lindsay, I see it. Even if you're not intending to show me, I still see it. I still see it. And we're still friends because we are different people.
We are different people.
Yes. So I am so obsessed with office supplies. It's not even funny. I have a favorite type of pen. I probably have a top 5 favorite type pens because you use different pens for different occasions. Like there's the ballpoint, and then there's the felt tip, and then there's the micro. Like there's just a lot of different things, and that matters very much. So I like to organize my pens. I have favorite paper and notebooks. Right now in my current office, I have 3 different dry erase boards, including I have a dry erase desk, which is very exciting. All of those things, like I just really like to set up my own space. And I think part of that comes down to the fact that you don't get to control a lot of that. Like your first day, like I talked about, the stress of all those uncertainty, all that. But I can control my immediate environment, and that brings me comfort and safety on a day when like all the other things are in chaos and the anxiety is in full force. I can at least have like my space, my little sanctuary of things, and I'm like, this is for me. These are my things. This is my organizational whatever. And then just there's something very soothing about getting new office supplies or like the hanging file folders or figuring out how you're going to go through stuff. And something else, this is very, very nerdy of me, but in several of my previous jobs, I've inherited the position from someone else. And so then going through old files, oh my God, I love that. Because seeing where they've been and where you want to go is kind of exciting, but then also just the idea of like cleaning out old stuff and like starting fresh. I like that very much. So I like going through old files and organizing stuff again and making it like putting my fingerprint on a thing is something that I find to be very gold about a new job. Even better if no one talks to me the entire time I'm doing it.
And see, I'd be like, do you want to hang out in my office while I get my office supplies set up?
Oh my God, no.
I am with you. I do love office supplies. I do.
So
I have an addiction to Post-it notes like you wouldn't believe. And like I will name drop them as Post-it notes because they are the best. Don't give me any cheap knockoffs. Yeah. They curl up on the edges and they do not stick.
That's true.
I do. And I love like binder clips. Oh, I love binder clips. Oof.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a pen snob too. Like there are so many times in my life where like a student or someone will come into my office and they use a pen and they're like, that's really nice. And I'm like, listen, I only use nice pens. So I got news for you. They're all going to be nice. So that's it. That's what we're doing here.
I thought you were going to tell me like when someone goes, that's a nice pen. You go, yeah. And you're going to put it back. Do not take that pen because it's my favorite pen.
Oh, no. I have favorite pens, but I buy like 10 of them at a time. So
good call.
I'm good. Good. Yes. So I do not mind if my pens go missing because that gives me the opportunity to buy more pens, which I'm also a big fan of just buying more pens. Yeah, that is my gold. Organizing a new office space for a new job. Yes. Makes me feel happy.
I mean, I don't ever do it, but it's good.
I reorganize my office probably once a month too, like move stuff around and go through files and stuff. I like it very much.
Yeah. I did partly clean my office this week, just to let you know.
You did. I saw that.
I did, yeah. It's getting there.
That's good. All right, Lindsay. So hit us with that recap and tell the listeners how they can vote.
You guys can go and vote for our garbage options. Mine of not understanding the office politics and culture, or Lisa's just the first day in general, using the hashtags Lindsey Garbage or Lisa Garbage, and your votes for our gold option, mine being new people, which means new friends, versus Lisa's office supplies and organizing a new space, using the hashtags Lindsey Gold or Lisa Gold on our Instagram and Twitter accounts at GarbageGoldPod.
Yeah, please do that because we love to hear what you guys think and we really like chatting with you and hearing about your choices. So get up in our Twitter and Instagram feeds and tell us all your feels.
We'll share the poll results and our favorite listener comments on our next episode.
If you haven't already done so, if you could head on over to iTunes or whatever it is you listen to us every week and give us a rate, review, and subscribe, we sure would appreciate it.
And tell your friends about us. As we've established, I love making new friends, even if Lisa doesn't.
But I am always down for another friend of the podcast.
And we have a great way for people to know that you are a friend of the show. Wear or show your love with our merch that's coming in April.
That's right. We're going to do an on-demand merchandise order for the month of April, the whole month. So you can put in your order for Garbage and Gold shirts, sweatpants, drinkware, and more.
And if you guys are in our real lives, you will see some of the stuff that we are selling. We have been wearing and using, and people are like, ooh, I like that. Yeah. Now is the time you can order it. Yeah. All the information is on our website, and we'll share the links on social media too. I am just so excited. I'm really excited about the blankets. Spoiler alerts, there's a blanket.
Yes, there's going to be a blanket. I'm so excited. It's going to be so cuddly and wonderful.
It's gonna be so cuddly.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so that's enough self-promotion for now, but please do join us next week when we deliberate the Garbage and Gold of TGIF shows.
Ooh, so good.
Taking us right back to the 90s. It's been a minute, but we're coming back.
Sorry, 90s.
Back.
We've been.
I know we miss you.
We've been neglecting you. We're coming back.
TGIF was a big part of my life, man. I'm very,
Seriously.
very, very excited to delve back into that. That's going to be fun.
I know. It's going to be good.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.